Coming up on today's episode of Airborne Unlimited, helicopter pilot undertakes next big adventure. ALPA opposes cockpit video recording. NATA responds to AOPA call for economic regulation of aviation businesses. Hello, I'm Laura Hutson. It's April 14th and this is Airborne Unlimited. Peter Wilson is a man with a mission to raise the profile of a better planet through sustainable development. To do so, he launched 3 journeys round, and though he has already flown his Robinson R-66 around Africa, he is now attempting a global circumnavigation with the aircraft, which launched last week. He and co-adventurer Matthew Gallagher plan to visit 41 countries as they fly around the world. According to the project website, the purpose of these journeys is to raise the profile of a better planet through sustainable development. Climate change, poverty, and sustainable development are so interlinked that they cannot be tackled in isolation, Wilson writes. The principal objectives of the program are to meet local community leaders whose stories can inspire others to make their individual difference to sustainable development, showcase their successes worldwide, and raise money for remarkable organizations making a difference. For Round Africa 2016, Peter traveled solo through 24 countries, completing a journey of 16,000 nautical miles in 74 days. The circumnavigation will cover some 29,000 nautical miles. A third journey planned for next year will take place in Latin America. Wilson says that 86% of the monies raised by the project will go directly to 2 charities, Save the Children and Motivation. ALPA is no fan of CIRs. Cockpit Image Recorders refers to the use of video cameras to record events in cockpits. Some, including the NTSB, advocate the installation of CIRs in commercial airliners. While on the surface these may appear to be reasonable claims, ALPA contends otherwise. According to an ALPA white paper, current technology already provides investigators with the tools they need to determine accident causes. The digital flight data recorder records hundreds of parameters ranging from basic values such as altitude and speed to details such as rudder pedal position, the position of every switch, and even the onset of smoke alarms in the lavatory. The report also claims that video imaging would add virtually nothing of real value to the investigation process and could actually lead investigators down the wrong path. While CIR will be of minimal value in analyzing and preventing accidents, it represents a major invasion of privacy for pilots, ALPA contends. Ford's contributor Ashley Nunes likens cockpit video recorders to body cameras worn by police officers. Nunes says that the video images could be very helpful to investigators by recording what the pilots are actually doing, contending that such images could help investigators piece together the precise sequence of events in an accident. After the break, NATA takes on AOPA.
Concorde's recombinant gas RG series sealed battery technology produces a high-performance battery with the advantages of being pre-tested and fully charged at the factory. Find out more about Concorde's entire line of batteries at www.concordebattery.com. Concorde, the heart of your aircraft.
Redbird Flight Simulations is dedicated to revolutionizing flight training by designing, manufacturing, and delivering affordable and innovative flight training technologies. Each Redbird device is designed to enhance the training experience for pilots of all levels, from student to ATP. Redbird is quickly becoming the industry standard for flight training. Since Redbird introduced its revolutionary FMX in 2007, colleges, universities, and flight training operations around the world have integrated Redbird products into their curriculum. It's time to discover what Redbird can do for you. Join the migration.
The dream is real, a truly affordable personal jet aircraft. The Subsonics Personal Jet Kit is priced at only $42,000. Kit plus engine is still under $100K. Add instruments, upholstery, and paint and you're flying. It's time to put your money where your bucket list is. Learn more at sonicsaircraft.com.
Welcome back. If you have a story suggestion for Airborne Unlimited, Aero-TV, the new AMA drone report, our website or podcast, just email to news-by@aero-news.net. The National Air Transportation Association has released a report provided to the FAA in response to charges levied by AOPA that FBOs and airports are maximizing their revenue streams in a manner that is unfair to pilots. Earlier this year, NATA became aware of AOPA's 11-month campaign to regulate airports and on-field businesses, obtained relevant documentation from the FAA, and shared it with other impacted parties in general aviation. Recently, AOPA announced it is requesting either the FAA require FBOs to provide unfettered access to ramps and facilities, or airports to provide pilots with free public ramp space. NATA President Martin Hiller stated, quote, "The AOPA effort is particularly disappointing as it continues a pattern of contradictory assertions designed to alleviate industry concerns while it pursues an economic regulatory agenda." While AOPA claims to support FBOs and the free market, there is no recognition of the fact that some locations require different pricing models. Incredibly, AOPA chose to attack the FAA for asking stakeholders to comment on its call for economic regulation of FBOs, and even criticized NATA for bringing their covert 11-month campaign to others' attention, Hiller added. It's Friday, and that means it's time for A&N's CEO and Editor-in-Chief Jim Campbell to check in with his weekly Barnstorming commentary. It's been all over the news this week, yet another airline misstep. Though the latest is just plain beyond belief, Jim says that the airlines continue to make all of aviation look bad, and yet they want to reaccommodate air traffic control under their guidance. Jim doesn't think so. Here's this week's Barnstorming.
Thanks, Laura, and hi, folks. I'm not going to go into a whole lot right now, except for one issue and one issue only, short and sweet. The airlines have virtually destroyed the glamour of aviation. Kids who used to want to be airline pilots or work for airlines or be a part of the travel community look at the airlines now as if they were looking at a Greyhound bus. And ultimately, what was a proud and innovative and exciting industry that got businessmen to their appointments, family members to their loved ones, and people off on all manner of adventures, has become dull, drab, a hassle, a problem. I blame the airlines themselves, their greed, their absolutely maniacal concentration on the bottom line rather than the art and craft of pleasing a customer. I blame the TSA, who has made security a theatrical exercise in insanity. And I blame the government for not watching what's happening to this industry, for not doing anything about it when, in fact, that we have gotten their attention. And most importantly, taking a vital national resource and flushing it down the drain. In no uncertain terms, the airline industry is an embarrassment to all of aviation. We have enough problems in our business at this point without having to be compared to Greyhound buses, and not favorably, I might add. And more than anything else, something that we all at one time or another probably flirted with if we were a pilot, being an airline pilot or working for an airline or being part of a glamorous or what was thought to be a glamorous transportation system, has been trashed, where society now makes fun of it. For the last couple of nights, we've watched what happened after the United Airlines incident, one of many, not just with United, but with a number of airlines, further embarrassed a proud industry. We in aviation need to demand better standards for ourselves, better standards for our brothers and sisters in the industry, and to cajole, force, entreat, whatever it takes to get the airlines to restore the professionalism to an industry that once moved the world, and now the world is laughing at it. For the Aero-News Network, Airborne and Aero-TV, I'm Jim Campbell.
After these messages, more Santa Monica heartburn.
There's a difference between charting a steady course and pushing for the ceiling. And for nearly a century, Hartzell Propeller has been defining that difference. It's in our passion for engineering and research and our dedication to testing the limits of performance. We are built on honor. We are Hartzell Propeller.
The Bristol Light Sport aircraft is what you are looking for. The Bristol is wider than a Cirrus, faster than a Skyhawk, offers more storage than a Husky, and comes standard with Garmin avionics. So what are you waiting for? Visit Bristol.com to find out how you can get into a Bristol today.
Welcome back. With so much news coming out of the aviation industry, we're summarizing some other interesting stories in a brief segment we call Around the Patch. A resident of Santa Monica has expressed his opposition to the loss of what had been a public space at the Santa Monica Airport Administration building. John Jarabek says that until recently, the public had access to an observation deck on the building on the south side of the airport's only runway, as well as the former Typhoon restaurant, but not anymore. Negotiators with the Teamsters Airline division have announced that a tentative agreement has been reached to extend the current collective bargaining agreement for flight dispatchers with Atlas Air Inc. and Polar Air Cargo Worldwide. The flight dispatcher's contract was due to reach term in November of this year. The FAA licensed flight dispatchers are members of Teamsters Local 210 in New York. Boeing has unveiled concepts that could help achieve NASA's goal of human space exploration from the Moon to Mars. NASA's Space Launch System would deliver a habitat to assist lunar space near the Moon. Known as the Deep Space Gateway, the habitat could support critical research and help open opportunities for global government or commercial partnerships in deep space, including lunar missions. Two top executives at Luminati Aerospace have resigned from the company in recent months. Though the company claims such resignations are not unusual in startup enterprises, the company plans to build a solar-electric HALE unmanned aircraft that can provide internet service to underserved areas of the world. A number of rural and agricultural groups have urged Congress to oppose ATC privatization. Groups ranging from the Agricultural Retailers Association to the USA Rice Federation released a letter urging Congress to oppose privatization. Rural communities, agriculture, and small businesses stand to lose the most under a privatized system, where there would be no congressional oversight to ensure that all stakeholders and communities have access to air transportation, they noted. Well, that's it for today's trip around the patch. Now let's move on to the rest of the news. We've heard this sad story before. In response to the usual NIMBY complaints about noise and safety, Chatham, Massachusetts has declined to renew a lease with Skydive Cape Cod at their airport for 4 years. Now the company has sued the various town officials for $100,000, while a few neighbors have also sued, seeking airport ban on skydiving. The company is a subcontractor at the airport, but town manager Jill Goldsmith did not sign the lease renewal in 2013. Skydive Cape Cod appealed to the FAA, which ordered the selectmen to restore the activity to the airport within 30 days. Goldsmith refused. So now the town is caught between a rock and a hard place, since it will lose at least one of the lawsuits. Neighbors say Skydive Cape Cod does not operate safely, citing incidents which have little or nothing to do with skydiving operations or safety. Skydive Cape Cod says only the FAA can regulate aviation activities and that the airport has received more than $6 million in AIP funds. They also say that the Board of Selectmen approved the contract and that it does not need the town's manager's signature to be valid. Well, that's our program for today. Remember that Airborne Unlimited is streamed daily Monday through Friday, with additional breaking news bulletins for important stories that fall outside of our normal deadlines. If you're watching us on YouTube, please subscribe, and do check us out on Facebook and Twitter. Get comprehensive, real-time, 24/7 coverage of the latest aviation and aerospace stories anytime at aero-news.net. Have a great weekend. See you Monday.